I mean, that actually leads to a really interesting question, which I didn't have here, but I definitely want to ask you. If you said that, they're a good, experienced, not good, but experienced customs broker who could help you in situations like that where an inexperienced might not be able to. How do you, as an individual who doesn't have the sort of knowledge that you do, you've got years and years of
Sure.
it, how would someone who hasn't got that experience actually know if they're choosing a good customs broker or customs agent as opposed to an average one? Like what would you recommend to someone at home who's about to start to actually filter through the good ones and the bad ones? Are there maybe a set of 3 to 5 questions you could think of that would, delineate or separate, whether someone's actually a good person to hire or a bad person? Have you got any ideas or tips on that?
Yeah, well, actually, as you know, I run some courses on that, and basically what people come out and saying, I didn't know what I didn't know before. And so what I say to them is what I'm in the course of, we explain certain things at a high level, and I say, well, these are the things that you need to understand, and then when you go to a customs broker, you need to have your information ready for them, because you don't want to waste their time, because if you do, they're going to sort of say, well, wait a minute, I haven't got time to go through all this. So you really need to prepare yourself. So the other thing is to ask lots of questions. I'm looking at doing this particular product from this country. What are some of the issues there? Is there quarantine? Is there duty? Is if I get the right paperwork, is there a cheaper duty, as we talked about before? So understanding, and so even if you don't know what questions to ask, one thing is to say, look, what questions should I be asking you? Do you know what I mean?
Good.
That's a silly question. No, but it's actually a very important question.
I mean, it's the idea of thinking someone can read your mind.
Exactly.
That could be a problem, or thinking they know exactly. So what you'd say is, tell them exactly the process of what your business is, what you intend to do, where it's from, what the material's made out of, so that every little aspect's covered, so that someone can analyse it. You need to give them data and information.
The more data you can give, whether it's freight forwarders, customs brokers, or even if you're talking to customs or quarantine, the more information you can give, the more accurate the answer is that they're going to give you. And so it's very important to do that research.
It's like a computer, right? It's always going to give you the best answer, but you have to put the right inputs into it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Fantastic. All right, so let's talk about beginner importers. What are the typical mistakes that you've seen from beginners?
Well, I can remember one case in my early days in the business. I had a client referred to me, and they'd gone over to, I think it was Taiwan. They got some little lemon squeezers made, just things that you could put the lemon in instead of getting your fingers down.
Okay.
And so when the shipment came in, he just rang me up and said, I've got these documents. I said, fine, send them in. So I calculated the duties and sales tax, as it was in those days, and calculated the freight and all the charges, because the freight was to be paid in Australia. And so I sent him the preliminary bill or pro forma invoice for all these charges he'd have to pay. And he came, what's all these charges? And I said, well, they're charges that you'll have to pay to get the goods through customs and to pay the shipping line. Oh, I didn't know about that. And the next thing, customs happened to do an inspection on these particular products. He won the unlucky door prize.
Yeah, it's like a random. It's like the lottery no one wants to win. It's like a random audit.
Yeah, exactly. And so I physically went down with the customs office, because you have to be there as the broker or the owner. Yep. And so I was representing the owner. I'm down there, we're opening these cartons up, and open the little boxes, and there's the little thing, and it doesn't have made in Taiwan.
Wow.
Right?
On how many of these things were there?
Thousands.
Thousands without the sticker. And there's a content law in almost every country that you have to show the local origin and stick them on. Exactly. I'd been there before. So I brought in it wasn't a container, thankfully. It was a few boxes of these alcohol breath testers, and they're made in China on them. So I went down the customs, and I had to get a stickers and stick it on every one. It took me. I remember it was a bright sunny day, and then the sun was setting before I'd finished. And whatnot. Anyway, tell me about your
well, it was a similar thing, because I then had to ring up the client and say, you're going to have to get some stickers printed. It sounds like the same price.
Go get some stickers.
And I said, I haven't got time to do that.
Yeah.
I'm a busy person. I'm a professional. I can't do that. So you're going to have to go and organise something, whether it's yourself or hire someone to go and put a sticker on everything. Customs will come back and check on it before they release it. So it cost him a fortune.
Yeah.
And not only unfortunate in cost, but the time that he spent, because I think he ended up doing
How
it.
long did it take? Maybe 3 or 4 days? Or?
Yeah, I think it was about 2 days.
Damn.
So it was a disaster.
And if you got it done in China, it would have cost you about $5 in labour.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Or Taiwan. That's
but
right.
if he'd got a part of the process of manufacture and packing and labelling, probably cost him less than 0.5%.
Yeah, exactly. It's amazing.